Hi class, and welcome to Advantage ESL class. Today we are going to talk about English articles. So what are English articles? So a really simple definition is that articles are words that define a noun as specific or unspecific, okay? So we'll talk about the specific and unspecific ways. But again, articles are words that define a noun, and they're going to go in front of the noun that they are actually defining. One of the articles is called an indefinite article, right? So this is an article that we're going to use to refer to a person or a thing that is not identified or specified, okay? So these are articles that we're not sure about it, because it's not specified. So for example, I gave a book to the boy. Okay, so the word a is an indefinite article, and the word the is a definite article. So why is a indefinite? Because we don't know what book was given to the boy. Was it a math book, a Spanish book, an English book? We don't know. It's unspecified. But then to the boy is a little bit more specific because it's talking about a particular boy. What are the indefinite articles? Well, the indefinite articles are a and an. And there are some rules for using a and an. So for example, we use it with singular countable nouns. And we use with nouns that are not specific but general. So for example, I would like an ice cream cone. Again, you don't know what kind of ice cream cone I want. Is it vanilla, chocolate, strawberry? We don't know. So we're using an. And then we have another example here. I need to buy a new car. Again, you don't know what kind of car I want. It's just a new car. Is it a Honda? Is it a Chevy? I don't know, right? So it's not specified. We also use the indefinite article when the listener or the speaker is not familiar with or doesn't know the noun being talked about, okay? So again, it's not familiar, we don't know which one, so the Aztec people had a ruler. We don't know the ruler, right? We're not familiar with that, and especially if you're not familiar with the Aztec people, you may know a general history about that, but you're not really knowledgeable about the rulers, the names, right? I bought a new dress yesterday. Do you know what new dress I bought? No, because you weren't with me when I went shopping. So again, these are not familiar to you. They may be to me, but they're not familiar to you. So unspecified, okay? Now there are some reasons to use a versus an. So the other rule for a and an articles is the sound. So the noun that follows it, if it begins with a consonant sound, we're going to use one of them, right? Consonant with a. We use for the vowel sounds an. Now be careful, it's not the vowel letter, it's the vowel sound. And you're going to see why in one of these examples. So the first example, Cortez was a conquistador from Spain. So we have conquistador starts with the sound of C, right? That's a consonant sound, k, k. So we use a, not an. He met an Aztec named Montezuma. We use an because the noun that follows it, Aztec, is a vowel sound, a, an Aztec, okay? John is an honest person. Why are we putting an here when we have a consonant letter, H? Because it doesn't make the H sound. Sometimes H does make but sometimes it's silent. And in this case, for honest, it's silent. We hear the O, honest. So we need to use an honest person. The last example here, she goes to a university in Arizona. A university. Again, we have U, but it's not making the vowel sound okay? It is making a Y sound, consonant, U. A university. It would sound very difficult to say if I had to say an university. I kind of stumble over that a little bit because it's not easy to say, okay? And again, all of these are unspecified nouns that we're using the indefinite article, okay? So remember, we use indefinite articles for singular count nouns only. Do not use indefinite articles with non-count nouns or with plural nouns. So what do we use then when we have non-count nouns and plural nouns? Well, there is another one, but we're going to practice first with indefinite articles. What do you think? Look at these and decide, do you put an A or an an in front of it? So we have European. Do we say a European or an European? A, yeah, a European. Do we say a century or an century? Notice how I stumbled over that an because it doesn't sound right. A century. Again, the C is making the consonant sound. An immigrant or a immigrant? I is making a vowel sound, so an immigrant. An agreement or a agreement? An agreement, right? A large body of water or an large body of water? A large body of water. And what about unicorn? A unicorn or an unicorn? A unicorn, right. So again, those rules for vowel sound. Again, the sound, not the letter. So what are definite articles? Well, definite articles are used to show that the following noun refers to one or more specific persons or things. So again, remember, indefinite nouns were unspecified. Now we're getting to specified, so we need to use the, okay? So we use for specific nouns when the listener or the reader know about the noun and it is clear who or what the speaker or writer is talking about, okay? So again, the speaker and the listener, when they're talking, are understanding what the noun is, okay? What they're reading or talking. So here's some examples. The Spaniards built Mexico City. We are in the ESL 040 class. The teacher is teaching us about articles. So again, we know the teacher is teaching us about articles because she's standing in front of us teaching us. So she is a specific teacher. We are in a specific class, 040, right? The Spaniards built Mexico City. So again, that's a specific group of people that we understand. Okay, so again, definite articles. We also use the when there is only one of something. So again, this is something that's unique or there's only one of them. So for example, the sun is bright today. So we have one sun, and so we can say the sun. The Queen of England is on vacation. There's only one Queen of England, right? So are there any other nouns that are just one of that we can think of? Well, there's one president of the United States. If there's a king, right, there's one king of Spain. The Pope, when we say the Pope, everyone knows that that's the Pope that's in Rome. So we usually say the Pope. So those are things that are unique or only one of. So then we would use the definite article the. We also use the with all the following when the noun is specific. Again, the noun has to be specific. It can be a singular noun, like the new city became the capital of the colony, right? We can use it with plural count nouns. The conquistadors conquered the Aztec people. And we can use the with non-count nouns, like the agriculture of the Aztecs surprised the conquistadors. So all of those are specific. You can use the with singular nouns, with plural count nouns, and with non-count nouns. Again, we would not use a or an with plurals, never with a plural. We also use the indefinite article a and an when we are talking about something for the first time. And then when we mention it again, we can then use the, okay? So when we first bring up the noun, a or an if it's appropriate, and once it is then introduced, the, because then we already know what noun we're talking about, right? Yeah. So for example, again, going back to I bought a new dress, you don't know what new dress I bought, but now that I've told you about it, I can use the. The dress is really pretty, right? He bought a house last week. Okay, the house is near the college. So notice how I introduce the noun with a, but then when I speak of it again, I can use the definite article the. We also use the with superlatives when we mention the order of things. So a superlative are those kinds of words where we're comparing 3 or more things. And usually these are like when we're talking about the best. So I bought the best soda I could order. I have the best teacher in the world. I have the best dog. He's the tallest person in the class. So I'm comparing to everything else, right? Comparatives compare 2 things, but superlatives compare to many things, okay? So that's why we use the, right? The first thing I do when I wake up is stretch, and the second thing I do is take a shower, okay? So again, these are definite articles that we use with superlatives when we mention the order of things also. We also use the with some countries that have plural, like islands or republics or oceans, seas, rivers, lakes, mountains, or united in the title. So for example, we live in the United States. Okay, so we have the in front of United States. Make sure you do that because a lot of ESL students leave out the and they just say United States. No, it's the United States, okay? The United Kingdom, the Republic of China, because we have the word republic there, the Republic of China, but I don't put the if I just say China. She lives in China. I don't say she lives in the China, but if I have the Republic, yes. The Philippines, okay, so I put the Philippines. The Pacific Ocean, the Andes Mountains, the Colorado River, the Mediterranean Sea. So those are examples of using the. Can you think of any others? Maybe the country you come from uses the article the. So think about that. Does it have the word republic in front of it? United? Is it a group of islands? It probably does. Now, there are times when there are no articles. You don't use a, an, or the. So when do we do that? Well, remember that you learned you cannot use a or an for plural, indefinite, countable nouns, right? In this case, we don't use any articles. We call that zero article. So if you're looking in grammar books, you're probably going to see it as zero article, okay? We also use zero article for an indefinite, again, not specific, non-countable nouns. So for example, I would not say a dog's is a pet, because again, dogs is plural, right? A dog is a pet, okay? I need to change that noun to a singular. But if I do keep dogs, because I want it to be plural, just dogs are good pets, right? It's a plural indefinite countable noun. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my, no article there, okay? So again, plural indefinite countable nouns. That's all for today, so I hope that you get a good understanding of the basics for articles. Trust me, there's lots more rules, but this was just to get you started in your understanding of indefinite, definite, and zero articles. Thank you, and join me next time on Advantage.